Alright, so SR76's got his button here. If you watched the previous video on the spare tire, that's going to have to be replaced because of the damage to the rim, and it won't hold air. Of course, that tire's got to go anyway. From 2003 or 95, depending on how you read the code. So I'm not going to put it back in, and so I also decided that I think I'll drive it without the spare. And I'm going to go ahead and remove the spare tire carrier from underneath. If nothing else, at least this part. This is the clamshell that drops down. And there's a couple bolts to release that. I'll probably leave the upper pan there. Kind of protects the gas tank a little bit, but let me see if it stays in place. I'm going to remove the lock, which did absolutely nothing. But at least I can pull it off and take a look at it and see why it doesn't do anything at all. But again, it just slides sideways. You can see that there, and it's a one-handed job basically. I can slide that over, push it up, slide it over, and slide that back. Not that complicated. Not sure why the lock is even there. It must do something else, maybe just done wrong. But I'm going ahead and we're going to drop all this stuff off the car today. And we'll see how that goes. So we'll just remove it, and again, cobwebs everywhere. I just drove the car the other day, and as soon as you park it, spiders go, "Oh dude, a Corvette." Actually did it with the Mustang too. So we're going to remove those two bolts up here, and just to get this thing from swinging, and then I'll decide if that's got to come down or two. I kind of like it up there, although it's just plastic. But I'll pull it down anyway. We'll take a look at it, and then I can put it back up. A couple shots of WD-40 up here. So to remove this, we're also looking at, you can see it up here, removing those right there. So I'm going to give those a squirt as well. Let's see if they'll loosen up. I haven't tried it yet. And then this pan actually is bolted to the top. So we'll see what that looks like. This is the lock that doesn't This is ready to fall. This is plastic. This is metal. That part's metal. And I've got to remove those back there. Right now it's putting a lot of pressure on the exhaust system, so we'll have to get that fixed. Or I mean, it'll fix once I get that taken off. But this is just a plastic thing. I may just bolt it back up. We'll see. Kind of protects the gas tank a little bit, as long as it's not rattling stuff. But now I got to figure out how to get those bolts off back there. Okay, so there's. I have to take those off. This is the next section. Hopefully it goes real quick. I'm going to squirt it real good. Hopefully those are bolted. Those bolts, those nuts, are welded on. And all I got to do is give this a quick spray. And they'll turn. We'll see how that goes. Alright, as usual, things are never as simple as you want them to be. You can see the vise here, the bolt here is coming down. The problem is there's no clearance right here for the hit. It's right on the exhaust system. I don't know if you can see it or not. You can see what you can see. So the bolt head for that is right there. It unscrews easily. However, it will not come down all the way out because of the exhaust system. So that's going to require me to remove those, drop the exhaust so I can get that the rest of the way off. And trust me, if I do all that, that's never going on again. Now look at all that space underneath here. So I did have to drop the brackets so I could get some, you needed like less than ½ an inch to be able to get that bolt out. And there wasn't not enough play, so I had to pull it. I'm gonna leave this here, put the bolts back in it, because I like the fact that that's covering up the gas tank, just so you know, I don't have it hanging out there. But I may drop it anyway just to see what it looks like up there. I'm gonna see if those two bolts come out real quick, and just see what it looks like, and then I'll bolt it all back up. So it was out. Had to drop the rear of the exhaust for a couple inches, but that was it. So it wasn't that bad, so I will put it back in eventually. Well, took the plate out, and the reality is there's nothing really to look at. You've got gas tank, that's it. See the rear end better. Some anti-seize on that, that's a good idea. See the U-joints. Much better. Brand new shocks, see those are pretty. And the new leaf spring. Of course, I already got the numbers from that. So I don't see any big deal. So that's fiberglass. Those are the drop-down storage. Back panel's metal. But you know what? I got a test I want to do real quick before I put that on there. So I bought this stuff. You see it all the time on the internet. I want to see if it gets rid of the rust. So I'm going to go slap some of that on the rust here. Be right back. Alright, so it's called
Rayhong water-based metallic paint. And on the internet, they show you paint it. It's supposed to remove rust. It doesn't really do that. It might seal it, but it doesn't remove rust. You're just painting over it. This apparently lasts 3 years. It's a pure acrylic emulsion. Apply 2 coats. So I'm going to apply one right now, and just to see what it looks like. Apparently it's flammable. Cool. All right, but anyway, this is a little tube they sent you. I think it was like 19 bucks, but I thought I'd try it. Just because sometimes, you know, you want to give a real perspective on this rather than just what you see. It comes with a little crappy brush. Of course, it's all probably made in China. So I'm going to go ahead and try to just paint it on one of these spots in here, and I'll let you guys take a look at it while I'm doing it. Right, so I'm going to paint right in there. And unfortunately the sun went behind, and I let my neighbor borrow my extension, my lead light. So I don't really have a light to shine on there, but I think you can see it fairly well. We'll do a little bit up in there. Now I don't know if this stuff may eat a hole in me, so I got gloves on just in case. Find the little crappy brush it came with. There you go. Alright, so let's try it. Let's just see that. Let's try it right here. You can see what it looks like now. Getting everywhere. And that's absolutely no better, just wet. So that's following the instructions. There's nothing fancy going on here with that. It's just not useful. All right, now you know. Does it look better? Give it a second coat. Yeah, I don't think it's doing anything. Nothing you can't live without. Still looks rusted. Alright, Mr. Salt. Money spent. Does look kind of naked there with all that empty space. All right, so just a quick recap. We dropped the clamshell bottom. We're gonna leave that off. To do that, we had to drop the exhaust just a little bit. Just release that last hanger there. It gave me a little bit of you needed like a 1/2 inch to be able to push down on it, be able to get the bolts out that held top of the clamshell, those things. Lock, which I'll take apart and find out. That'll go back into storage along with the clamshell. Bottom. So both of those, and then we did a quick little, and I put the top part of the clamshell back in just for kicks and grins. And we did a quick treatment on part of this. Well, I already covered it up, but you can see that's the rust stuff I put out there. It doesn't do much. It just sorry, mosquitoes are everywhere. Yeah, so it didn't do anything. Waste of money.